All right, hey, Chaz. Cheers. Welcome. What's up,
Cheers,
man?
Touch
Chaz Staten, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Who we can officially call a Friday night badass.
Yeah.
I mean, we can say Friday. Now, Saturday, we had a little letdown.
Yeah, it is what it is.
But you won, I thought.
Everyone thought.
Everyone thought, yeah. So I need to
Even
show
me
it to
thought.
Chad. So for those of you that don't know who Chaz is, he just fought in the, what do you call that? The West Virginia toughman.
Yep.
And just did a hell of a job. So tell what sparked all of this fighting? I mean, obviously, you and I boxed together some over at AP, and I know you enjoy it. But I mean, you've done MMA, right?
That's right.
Put that mic right up to your mouth there. You have to stand on it like you're singing. You can move that thing.
Scoot up.
Well, you can swing the arm. There you go.
That's fancy.
Yeah, but you got to put your mouth like right on that thing. There you go. Otherwise, they can't hear you. But so you've done MMA, tough man, kick. Have you done kickboxing?
No, not yet. I think that's what I'm gonna do next.
You're going to go for the kickboxing.
Yep.
So tell us about the journey, man. How did this all start?
Well, when I was about, I want to say 5 to 7, before I could do regular school sports, I did karate for a long time. So that was when I started martial arts. And then I really didn't do anything like martial arts related until about junior high. I got into wrestling. So I really found a love for one-on-one combat doing that. And in high school, I watched the UFC all the time. All right, appreciate you. But I would watch UFC all the time. And then I have an affinity for superheroes. I'm such a nerd and comic book lover. I love superheroes.
You usually show up to boxing in a Mr. T t-shirt.
Yeah, whatever I got. All I got is graphic tees. That's all. That's 95% of my wardrobe.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the thought of being a superhero, doing stuff like that, really got me. But I really didn't start training to fight people until after I got out of the Air Force. I was real fat. This is the Chubby Guy podcast. I was way above chubby.
Also, you were right there in the middle of it.
You were one of us.
I was 235 at least. 235, 5'7" on a good day.
I got to see a picture. I don't believe
Real
it.
chubby.
I don't believe it.
I was. And
What age?
what was that? 22.
Ate well in the Air Force, you're saying.
Yeah, I lived in Germany, so I drank and ate a lot.
Drank a lot of beer.
Yeah, the PT requirement was not very good.
Okay. But then that's when you started the professional training.
Yeah, I was just on an elliptical one day just trying to lose weight because I just got home from the Air Force. No idea what I wanted to do, just working in restaurants, just bored.
Yeah.
And I'm just on the elliptical thinking, why am I even doing this? This is so boring.
Yeah.
And then gave myself a goal, thought I'm going to start fighting. I wrestled. What's boxing like? Let's do that. Let's learn martial arts. I found this dude who works at the prison. He teaches all the hand-to-hand combats. His name is, gosh, it's going to kill me. I'm thinking of his name because he's the one who really showed me basics of fighting at first. And I worked with him for maybe 3-4 months, and it was just me and him. So it was very an hour a day. He just showing me basic punches.
Pretty intense training though, one-on-one.
I mean, it was not intense. He's very it was very technical. It was very old school type martial arts and everything. But I could tell he knew what I was talking about and everything.
So run it back when you say you first started. You were in you took karate when you were 7.
Yep.
Was that like a YMCA?
It was a
large
Madden's in
class.
Chillicothe. Yeah.
A large class. Or
Yeah, pretty much.
Where was it?
It was at Madden's gym in Chillicothe. I think it's still there.
Madden's gym. I didn't even.
I don't know if it's Madden's dojo or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I have no clue. I've not been there for years.
So whenever you do that karate, what are they I don't know anything about karate. What are they teaching you in karate? Just kicking styles, fundamentals?
Was it Taekwondo or
No, it was straight up karate. And it was, when I remember, I learned nunchucks, a lot of kata, so what you see in movies where they go doing that stuff. And everything. And then there was light sparring at the end of class and everything. But you're gonna think we're so little and everything, nothing really hurts or anything. I remember getting front kicked by a girl my 3rd day and thinking that was crazy.
Yeah.
My only child and everything. I'm pretty by myself in my own world for the most part, and going to like this first class or whatever, you're like thinking, I'm about to be Bruce Lee and everything, and then you get kicked by a girl in the chest, and you're like, okay, I'm not Bruce Lee.
Not Bruce Lee.
Like, do you think you were learning basics though?
Yeah,
in that
for
class?
sure. I
Okay.
am like, my kicks are pretty good for not like doing like any like kickboxing or anything so early in life, but I think that has to do with the karate. Okay. Because at a very young age, we were throwing the high kicks and the round kicks and the kata and doing the katas and everything. And that's like all in the air. So you're not kicking a bag. There's no force or anything.
Right. Yeah.
So it's balance.
Yeah. I think they taught me pretty good balance as a
Because that
child.
bag will stop you.
Yeah. You hit a bag, it stops you from whatever.
Yeah.
How long did you do that, man?
Until I was probably like kindergarten till I was probably first, third grade, and then I just went baseball.
You got a good 3-4 years.
Yeah,
of training.
Baseball, football.
Yeah.
And then junior high started wrestling.
Yeah.
So whenever you did the wrestling, so that's totally separate from boxing. However, wrestling's full contact. Not that boxing's not.
Best
but
martial art on the planet by far.
you know what, man? I tell you, I've been telling you.
Yeah.
I have, and I was a guy all those years. Chad was my football coach, my high school football coach, and everybody's always heard, man, if the wrestlers would play football, or if their football players would wrestle, it would. And I kind of shrugged that off, like there's some things that help or whatever. But now my son's doing it, and I've really got a chance to watch and learn. And
Well, I played middle linebacker in high school. I'm 5'6", and I was 160 pounds. So if wrestling helps, man, because I was
I don't think there's any doubt, and I think on many levels, man. I think it helps you as far as from a leverage standpoint and that kind of stuff that you use there. But I also think there's something about the toughness that it creates.
yeah,
the mindset is
the
insane.
the mental toughness, man. Like the mindset and the way that you have to prepare.
yeah.
I mean, there's a lot to that I'd say not only football, but a lot of sports.
Sure.
I
I would correlate it with football though a lot.
Yeah.
Just because of the head to head, especially a lineman.
similar movements.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
the line should definitely all try to wrestle.
if you're a
That would be
defensive
great.
back, I don't know that there's a big correlation.
Maybe D ends.
Yeah, but if you're a lineman, offensive or defensive, I mean, I'm telling you that I don't know that I've ever seen a sport that helps people with their just straight, head to head. You power, leverage, thinking. I mean, it's all wrapped up into one.
And I think a lot of it, even for other positions maybe that are less combative, body control.
Right? If you have, you're a good wrestler, you probably got really good hips.
Yeah, and having an awareness of how your body moves and what you're capable of doing. I mean, and I mean, man, you think about it. It's a one-on-one sport, and you get out there on the mat. There's nowhere to hide.
No,
And you're usually doing it in front of a crowd.
Oh, absolutely. Right. And I mean, look, there's no, man, you either win or you get beat. You get your ass kicked, and that's
in front of your whole family.
There you go. I mean,
even the team, like the wrestling team, I'm used to some type A teams.
Sure, yeah.
And the wrestling bunch seems so humble because they all know.
Think
lose
about
every
it,
day.
man. Yeah, I mean,
And like they're so encouraging to each other and even the opposing team.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're all in it for the sport, I guess, rather than the blood. Now you'll get some guys that are out for blood.
Always, you always get the crazy guys. But I'm telling you, any combat sport, you go to any competition, even the toughman is literally a tough man competition. Yeah. All the dudes in the back, super nice.
Yeah,
every single.
Well,
one
I think there's a certain level of respect.
All of it, yeah.
Amongst all right, tough man, perfect example. Mm-hmm. Not everybody walking up and down the street has got the nuts to jump in that ring. And I think anybody that's in there, if you're a competitor and you look at another guy, even if you're competing against him and fighting him hard for 3 rounds, you still have a certain level of respect for the guy. Yeah. That, hey man, this guy is willing to put it out there.
I mean, I got to give it to the tough man because that used to be just like a bunch of old drunk dudes that just wanted to get in there and throw haymakers and bombs.
That's what I was hoping I was going to get.
Yeah, I was hoping that's what we were going to get because I could have watched you just pick them apart. Yeah. But man, like we talked with Kiefer.
Oh yeah, well, and we watched. What was that? Last week we sat here and watched.
Well, yeah, we was trying to find Chaz.
Yeah, because we watched all these fights, and it had been a while since I had seen a tough man, and it's amazing to me how much technique. I mean, I would bet that a high percentage of the fighters, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Chaz, a high percentage of those fighters had to have had some kind of training.
I would say probably at least 1 out of 4.
Yeah,
one out of 4. There was over 100, so that's a good amount.
And then it also looked like some guys had maybe a little too much training to be in there. I mean,
well, there was some good.
You think only 4? You think only 40 out of the 100? You think? I mean, I would think that all of them had at least a month.
Maybe.
I think.
I don't know.
Maybe not. Maybe.
It just
a couple.
I guess what
my fiance said that I didn't watch the event because I was in the back like warming up and everything. But my fiance and friends said there was a lot of people get hit once and then just quit immediately. And I'm assuming that those are the people that didn't train.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I figure it looked like in the fights we were watching, and maybe those were like highlights or something. I don't know, but there were very few dudes that looked like they just pulled up in their car and got out like, hey man, I'm gonna go get in a fight.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember, tough man back in the 80s and 90s. That's kind of what it was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I mean,
they were running a pretty tight ship in the back and everything. There was no energy drinks. Even seen like anything that wasn't water. They were like, yo, what's that? We weren't allowed to leave after we walked into the building.
Okay, this is an interesting point. Let's talk about
the day.
You enter in to this competition.
Yep.
Okay. So like what time do you have to get there? What was the day like? And then how do you prepare?
Well, it was a lot different than the MMA fight because the MMA fight is like it's exactly what it looks like on the embedded and everything. Right. Even in the amateurs, like you're warming up, you're with your coach and everything. This was nothing like that. I read the rules and it was like no cornerman. I'm like, okay, well that's interesting, but I get it. It's amateurs. And then it said just show up, no energy drinks, bring a mouthpiece, shoes, and shorts, and that was pretty much all it said. So I was like, well, this should be interesting.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm assuming it's going to be like a wrestling tournament because of how many people were in it and everything, which it pretty much was. That's how it was ran. Okay. But you just didn't see the actual bracket. They just gave you a number. You showed up.
Okay.
But whenever I got there, it was about, I think 4:00. I got there a little early to West Virginia, got to my Airbnb, made sure I was on weight. My buddy came, Landon. He helped me warm up for like a half hour, just doing some basic mitts work and everything just to get loose. And then, cause I, like I said, I didn't know what I was expecting and if I was going to be able to warm up or anything in the back. But I get there, we're in what seems to be the coldest warehouse I've ever been in the back. And like there was no space heaters. It was real cold. So we're just standing there for like a half hour. The line is getting real long with fighters. You see a whole bunch of different dudes and everything. And
are they like red and blue sides?
Nope. You're just in a line, just in this warehouse, and I'm waiting to see. I was just waiting in line, talking to whoever was beside me, which I thank God was one of the biggest dudes there. So I made friends with him real quick, just in case things popped off.
Yeah.
I was like, we're not in the same weight class, obviously, but what's your name and everything?
Yeah.
But
did you feel like at any minute it could pop off?
No,
I didn't figure it out.
I was just pretty much joking about that. I wouldn't feel like it. There was this one dude who was in an ankle bracelet, though, and he was a heavyweight, and you could tell that, like, he was a little out there, like something from out of Trailer Park Boys. And whenever we were in line, he was like looking around, and I think he had to have known the dude. I really hope he have known this dude. He's like, hey, let me get one of your earphones real quick. And he's like, okay. And then he just puts the earphone in. I don't even know if he hooked up to like a phone or anything and just starts bobbing his head. And I was like, this is already off the chain. Yeah. I don't know what is happening. He's got ankle monitor on, wife beater. It's 30 degrees. So we're still.
Did he lose?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he probably just got
I think he did.
Hey, everybody. I want to talk to you about one of our special friends and friend of the program, Geiger Brothers Construction. Man, those guys have been with us since the start. Scott Massey, even though we're kind of hard on you sometimes, we sure do appreciate your sponsorship. And guys, if you own a commercial business and you need some contracting, engineering work, anything done, give those guys a call. 740-286-0800. Geiger Brothers. Thanks.
But yeah, so we're just waiting in line, and then they start calling people. They're like, "All right, what's your name? Let me see your ID." And then you move through the line. They hand you a Snickers and a Gatorade, which I thought was very odd.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really have to cut any weight, but I didn't really eat that day because I was like, I would probably eat something before. Had a Snickers and a Gatorade, red Gatorade, not good. And and then we go through the line. We just go through the paperwork with their workers. Then they send us to the doctor. They get our like blood pressure and everything just to make sure we're healthy and everything like that. Yeah. And then they ask us if we've had any energy drinks. No. Weigh in. And then it was just a lot of sitting around and waiting until it was about, I was literally sat around from 5 till 7, just kind of bobbing my head, listening to music, trying to figure out who I was going to fight.
Did you have any idea who you were going to fight?
No clue.
So there's no bracket up or anything?
No, there's 100, like I said, there's like over 100 people in the back at that first night. So it's really, really busy at first. And there's no rhyme or reason until like 7 o'clock hits, and then they give you one sheet of paper of like 1 through 19. I think
that's who's getting up right then to fight. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So if you come back and you're number 1, it's time for you to go.
You got to go. Yeah. There's no warming up. It's like let's roll.
Okay.
But
so they just call out your name. You go out. They introduce you.
Yeah. They had a big red number thing that it would just a number would come up, and you just got to know your number. And whenever your number comes up, you go up, glove up, get in line.
Anybody inspect your gloves?
No, I wrap my own hands too, by the way, which is really weird.
It's kind of illegal, isn't it? I mean,
not in Toughman. Yeah. We used like just regular hand wraps, not like tape or anything. So, if you didn't know how to wrap your hands, there was guys there that were worked at the event that were wrapping hands, and you can tell what guys have like fought and everything before, and I seen one of the guys. Who was an ex-champion, and God, I can't think of his name. I'm so bad with names. What a nice guy. He probably remembers my name. But he was telling me that he could wrap his hands. It didn't really matter. It just had to look good. I was like, cool. I'll wrap my hands in.
So what kind? Give me the rules.
It was Queensberry boxing, so just boxing rules.
Just mark the Queensberry. That's the rules.
That was the rules. Is 1 minute.
Protect yourself at all times.
Yep.
Once the bell rings, over.
Yep. 1 minute rounds, 3 rounds. And that ding ding.
No. So standing 8 count or 10.
It was an 8. So, but honestly, they said during the meeting they were like, obviously everyone has jobs outside of here. We're not going to they weren't going to let no one get hurt.
Yeah,
and no one did get.
So
hurt.
they were quick to the 8 count.
Yeah, if you can tell, and those people have been doing it for so long, and that ref was pretty good. Like whenever someone started getting hit too much and like would back away or whatever, they would just be like, "Okay, we're done."
Okay.
Yeah, they'd stop it, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I've been trying to tell my wife that in wrestling. My wife's really having a hard time watching our son get beat on. And I'm like, you got to understand, these refs,
oh yeah,
they are going to stop it. Like, what they call that? Something they get 4 points when it's,
like a tech fall or something.
Yeah, when it's immediate.
Too much.
Yeah, when it's immediate, they'll stop it. You get 4 or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, see, they're going to stop it before anybody loses a shoulder. Now you might come up with a sore shoulder,
right?
Now the second night you did, but that first night, I want to talk about this too. I want to talk about you fighting back-to-back nights because that is a feat. So tell me about the first night. Did you get I didn't see any good solid shots that he got in on.
I got hit harder the first night than I did the second night for sure.
But you didn't take any concussion shots.
No, he hit me one time that kind of buzzed me and it kind of sent me some a little shock through my fingers, but nothing that was crazy.
So you felt it tingle down there?
Yeah, definitely. He had me with one that shot my head back, and it was like, okay, yeah, that was a good one.
Did you feel your knees go out any?
No, I don't think so. I was pretty well balanced. I think I threw a little too hard one time and almost fell out the ring, which was pretty funny.
Was that when he was in the corner?
Yeah.
Dude, you threw one from way back whenever he was in the
I
corner.
know, I threw it, and I literally, my head went through the ropes, and I didn't realize what I did, and I popped myself back through, and I was like, okay, at least that kind of looked all right. It didn't look like I was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it. I was like, man, if he would hit him with one of those. So we thought going into that week, though, that you know, I talked about it. We thought you were going to be a big 160,
I'm never big.
and you
Be
weren't.
big in anything.
Yeah, you weren't like that. It was like he's never fought a guy with a 5 in his height.
Never. Not one time of
Is
ever.
that right?
Yeah.
So these guys he fought
At
was
160, like over 6 feet.
In MMA, I fought at 140, 140 and 145. And both
and all
were
of them were over
6'2".
Man, were they skinny, man?
They were pretty skinny, but like
But
also
that's
they're lean.
rangy, though, man. I mean, you got
they're
that
lean
long,
and ripped.
Yeah.
I mean, how tall's Connor? Connor, I mean, he's fought at 145. He's fought at 155. Now he's going to 185.
He's 5'11". He's not even that tall.
Yeah, but I mean, and look at like Cerrone and those guys
Yeah.
that are taller than him, and they've been in the same weight classes. But you see Chaz. He's
I just
not a
have
big
bad
dude.
luck
Yeah,
with
well, you
the
know,
height
you
thing.
get in there against a guy over 6 feet. I mean, his reach has
Man.
got to become a factor.
It
man.
does, every
you got to
time.
work inside on him, man. Yeah.
But I mean, it is what it is. I'm not upset that I have to
yeah.
fight these tall guys. It actually
You're probably used to it.
It
Yeah.
fires me up
Yeah.
every time now. Whenever I see someone tall, and I'm like, thank God, I'm gonna fight this dude.
Yeah.
Get some revenge for these short dudes.
Yeah.
And Kofor works with you some.
Oh, Kofor is a monster. He's like 6'4", 6'5", giant. To all of what 260 probably. He's big.
250,
Oh, yeah. The
255,
guy's a
anyway.
He's
freak.
so big, and
been
he
on the
moves.
show.
He moves like he's my size.
120.
He moves so good.
I don't know that I've ever seen a big man move so fluid.
He does.
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to see him go at it. I know he says he's had one, but I want to see him go at it for sure.
I don't think he'll be back.
Oh, is he an injury or something?
Well, he's married now. He's in love.
Women.
Women. But let's talk about whenever you know that you got to fight these guys. You know that they're going to be over 6 foot. So you don't know this until he gets in the ring.
No, well, I know about 15 minutes, 20 minutes before for the toughman, because, like I said, I see the name.
You can kind of go back in line, count.
The first night was really hard until it wasn't, because I was like the third to last fight of the night. So I'm just waiting in the back, just kind of like eyeballing who's who, and then I figure it out.
Then the second night,
The
but
second night I know. The funny thing is the guy I fought the second night, he was a really good guy. I feel bad that whenever he won, the whole crowd booed. I felt bad for him for that, because everyone thought I won. I thought I did enough. The announcers.
Were you shocked when they gave?
I was because I pressured him a lot that third round. I thought I did enough, but it is what it is on that part. But the funny thing is, before we get there and everything, and I was dressed up pretty nice. I was like in my rave wear, trying to like hype myself up, feeling like swaggy and shit. And he came up to me before we knew we were fighting. He was like, "You look nice, man," and I'm like, "Oh, that was really nice. Appreciate you." And then we find out we're fighting. I'm like, "Of course, the only dude to give me a compliment. Now we got to fight each other."
Yeah.
maybe that was part of his game plan.
I doubt it.
So let's go back. So you go in, 15 minutes, you look down the line, you see this guy, you're eyeballing him from 50 feet away or however far it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, so then what are you doing? Are you looking at the way he moves? Are you looking at the size of him? Are you looking at where's his reach going to be? Because I mean, in a real fight, not a real fight, but like in a sanctioned fight or whatever, you would know their reach.
Yeah.
You don't in this situation. So I mean, and that is such a huge thing. How did you like mentally prepare? Like so I'm sure you have to just like tune in. This is where being an only child probably helps you.
Yeah.
But you probably have to just kind of shut down, tune in, and say, okay, here's my game plan. Or were you just like shooting the shit? Let's go out there and do this. I mean, how were you?
Well, I was back there for a while. So the first night I was pretty zoned in. Well, I don't know anyone back there. All my friends and family, anyone that I could really like talk to or like get ready with is out there, because they're not allowed in the back. And the only way you were allowed to warm up was jump rope or shadow boxing. You couldn't have anyone help you, which was weird.
No mitts.
No mitts, no nothing.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I didn't understand that rule, but I mean,
room.
maybe.
That's where egos would flare.
Yeah, probably. And they probably just didn't have the facilities to, honestly. But yeah. So I just put my my headphones on. I have a whole boxing playlist that songs that I like that make me move good, trying to find a flow. So I would just go for like 20 minutes doing jump rope, shadow boxing, nothing real hard, just kind of like moving, practicing whatever I think can happen, and then just waiting. And I was just
Whenever you say what you think happened, I mean, you're literally seeing this guy's right cross coming at you.
Throughout all the whole time I'm training and everything, I have a pretty vivid imagination and everything. So I'm always like, on my drive, like I'm thinking about that could be like, he could throw a left, he could do this, it could be that. I could go out there, throw a jab to the stomach, and then to come up. I'm just thinking all the time, like for like 2 weeks, whenever I got time, what could happen? What could happen? So when you get in there, you don't have to think. You've already thought about it. I've already, like, whenever I'm in there, I literally can't hear the music.
Yeah.
They were like, I was asking my friends, I'm like, what song was playing whenever I was fighting and everything? I'm like, I could not hear nothing.
Yeah, you just zoned.
Yeah, it is super zoned in. It's a very weird feeling. And the best feeling in the world is when you're zoned in like that and you can like almost flow. And that's only happened to me a couple times. And that was like whenever I was training at Immortal, whenever we would have some long sparring sessions.
You trained with Matt Brown?
Yeah.
That's Immortal, right?
Yeah. You asked me too quick. I was like, yeah, of course.
Matt Brown, UFC legend.
Okay.
I trained there for almost a year and a half, 2 years. And that
How was that, dude?
It was really cool. Very cool.
Matt
Everyone
Brown's
there is
awesome.
a badass. Yeah. Everyone there, all of them. When I was first there, my two training partners, Joshua Pereira, he's a pro right now, and he's a dog. 125 killer in Ohio right now. He is so good. And then a Lucas, I can't say his last name. But he was a West Virginia wrestler, and he just turned pro too. Both of them, dogs. Shout out to them if they ever see this. You guys are dope. But yeah, Matt Brown's awesome. He was.
Is he teaching every day?
No, he doesn't. He has instructors. He teaches sometimes, but most of the time it was the instructors that I was dealing with. But I would see him almost every day, and he's a real quiet guy.
So it's kind of his gym then. Yeah.
Yeah. Immortal is definitely his.
He's
gym.
a guitar shredder.
He's a guitar shredder.
I hear he's also
lover.
he's a mountain biker.
I don't know. He probably mountain bikes.
Yeah.
He probably does everything.
Yeah, dude.
He's a savage.
There's a chance that he's going to get to fight Jimmy.
They gave it to Bobby Green.
Did they really?
Yeah, they just saw it yesterday. They gave it to Bobby Green for $300 against Jim Miller, right? Yeah.
Jim Miller. Yeah.
That's what you're talking about. That's a cool fight, though.
I would have rather seen Matt Brown.
I would have rather seen Matt Brown. That would have been a more legendary fight.
Matt Brown might have the UFC record, does he? For knockout wins?
I believe so.
Ooh,
Yeah, and he's 90 miles from us, dude.
unbelievable. Columbus?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. Is Mark Coleman still over there?
Yeah, I don't. He was not there very much when I was there.
Did you see him?
No, I never. I don't think I ever saw him there. Maybe one time.
He's doing good, man.
But yeah, he looks good now, and I see him. I see their Instagram and everything all the time, and they look great.
Yeah. Do you know who Mark Coleman is? No. Mark Coleman, another guy, founding father. He's the guy. He beat Don Fry.
One of the inventors of ground and pound, pretty
Yeah,
much.
I think
How
he's
old
calling
would
the
he
Hammer. Your age.
Okay.
Yeah.
He was. He had to have been in the first like 5 to 10 UFCs.
Yeah, he was. And, I mean, he's just an animal, just an absolute animal. There's a clip of him one time. I'm sure you've seen this, Chaz. There's a clip of him one time, and him and Joe Rogan were like outside of a auditorium somewhere, and they were just buddying, like, hey, bud.
Yeah.
And they got to wrestling, and Mark Coleman, I mean, I would assume Joe Rogan's pretty stout.
He looks like a little fire plug, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's all shoulders,
Yeah.
just, thick neck, and I mean, I doubt you're just going to throw him.
Right.
Did he?
Yeah, he.
He took Joe Rogan just playing around, and I mean, threw him up, slammed him from here to that wall.
And you could tell, like, he didn't, when he did it, he was like, whoops.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Didn't mean to do that.
Forgot
Sorry,
I'm a
dude.
giant.
Yeah. And I mean, so anyway, but then he kind of, Mark Coleman had a bad, he had a dark spot.
He's out of it now.
He's out of it. He is training again.
Killing it.
I think he would fight. I'm sure he would.
He probably would. Probably wouldn't. Shouldn't let him, but he probably
probably
would.
too old, man. Right?
I would assume.
Yeah, but they got
I
that
mean-
Legends Only League now, and that is kind of firing some guys up. But I'm just proud of how he's beat the alcoholism. He's doing a great job.
Yeah.
But so going back, so you did that in the MMA circuit. You trained at Immortals.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how you got ready for this tough man, though, because I'm going to be hard on you right now because I even ripped your ass that week. I was like, "Why are you here?" Because he was at boxing the night before the fight.
Oh my. Okay. Just
It's
getting loose, man.
non-contact.
Right? Yeah.
And
yeah.
you said
No contact.
that you were in there just trying to stay loose or whatever. Dude, I watched you. You were going like an animal.
Well, but nobody was going to punch you though, right?
No, we were.
Yeah.
we were
yeah.
just
You know.
conditioning that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would have thought you would have at least rested the night before your big
Listen,
fight.
I didn't miss a meal until the day of the fight. I was feeling good. I wanted to wake up and have myself a nice big coffee and not have to worry. So I worked out.
Yeah. Okay.
So where do you walk around at 175?
Listen, before I started, I took like a year off of training and everything. So before came back to AP prep, about 7 months I've been there now.
You've been there a minute, yeah.
Yeah, probably 7 months. I was walking around 190, 195. I was a chubby boy again.
You were bigger when you first came. You were a lot bigger than you are now.
Yeah, I was probably 85, 190 whenever I first walked in, and I took like a year and a half off. I went on a little bit of a depression after I lost my my second MMA fight because I was on a hot streak. I was feeling myself. I was training so much every day. Like,
Was it getting hard on your body, man?
I was pretty sore. My pockets were real low because I was traveling from Chillicothe to Columbus every day, 6 days a week most of the time because like I was dreaming hard. Like I was like, I'm gonna fucking do this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think that today, but then I was like, don't care how broke I am. Don't care. I was like, life was getting hard and I didn't care.
This
I wanted
was
to
your
train.
dream.
Yeah, it still is.
So
but
was it a little bit of a step in your mind? A guy that's fought MMA, trained MMA to enter a tough man. Were you just kind of wanting to see where you were, or what? I mean,
I knew I wanted to fight. I got beat whatever depression I was in. I woke up one day. It's actually a funny story. It was at Electric Forest. It was one of the music festivals I go to, and we're having a great time. Took some hallucinogen, and I'm just thinking in my head, everyone's around me, but I'm just in my own head, just why'd I quit?
Yeah.
Why'd I do that?
Would you
gotta
take
get back
shrooms?
in it.
Was you on shrooms?
No, it was LSD. It was just one tab, but it was enough to get me in my own head and think about all the great guys I trained with and how good they're doing and how what I was doing whenever I was with them. I was like, man, if I just would have kept with it, this is where I'd be. This
is a revelation.
It was a beautiful revelation, and like people will say like that stuff is like crazy and everything, and like it's not, it doesn't happen, but
we're
it
big
happened.
believers.
It definitely happens. You can have like an ego death and everything, and just your whole vision on everything just flip flops.
And it happened.
It happened for me. It was like it had to have been like less than a year ago, and I was like, I'm gonna get back into this.
So where does like tough man competition?
Seen it on the internet said,
But where does that fit in? Like, okay, you've been doing MMA fights and all that. Is it just an opportunity to fight?
Yep.
Or what?
Well,
okay.
no. That's not what he's meaning. He's meaning like, how are you qualified, basically?
Well, or like
yeah.
like a lot.
It's
like,
an amateur, so.
Yeah, like where in your training, you work hard to be an MMA fighter, and you're wanting to enter MMA fights.
Yeah.
So like, is tough man just part of that regimen?
No, I just want to fight.
It was free time for him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I mean. So it just maybe tuning up again.
Yeah,
like
I just
to get
wanna-
ready to fight.
Yeah, I don't have a dream to be UFC champion. I just have a dream to fight long enough to own my own gym and to keep fighting forever.
Okay.
I just want to fight forever and be able to keep keep that a part of my life for as long as I can.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Okay. It keeps you in a great headspace.
It does. It's my passion. It's whenever I have a fight, it gives me a goal. It gets me up in the morning. Nothing does that. And like I bartend so I can fight. I work so I can fight and travel. That's how I live my life pretty much.
Okay. So you're always I imagine when you train for a certain amount of time, you want to get out and fight, right? You want to go get some live competition.
Right. Yeah, definitely. It's about competition, and martial arts is what it is like an art form. Like, I want to show off. I want to show what I've been working on. I want to show people.
You're a musician on stage.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's where I'm going to rock out. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm going there for the cheers. I'm going there for the recognition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good time. It's a great feeling.
Yeah. Chubby's, hey, we all know this guy, all the folks over at AP Prep. We cannot thank you enough. Look those guys up at apprep.info. We get asked all the time, hey, what happens? How do you get over there? Hey, that's how you do it. You get on apprep.info, you look them up, you set a time for your kid's assessment. They schedule a time, you bring your kid over there, boom, it's done. They get you right in the schedule. And hey, for all you adults, you just show up on Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday night at 5:30, and they got their boxing classes. It's $10, or you can join by the month. So look them up at apprep.info.
So what I can't believe, like, you're back in this warehouse prior to fighting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do you keep your head right back there? Like, do you stay like in a pretty calm state?
Yeah.
Or do you allow yourself to start getting amped up, or like, what's
I don't
the progression
get amped up
there?
until probably 5-10 minutes before. Whenever it's 5-10 minutes before, that's when I read this this book, and it's like talks about alter egos and everything, and I bring out my alter ego in that 5-10 minutes. Yeah. It's no longer peace, love, I love everyone. It's all right, we're about to go to work. Yeah, my shirt's tucked in. I'm not shirt's tucked in, but I'm going for business now. Like, it's time to hurt someone.
Yeah, because you know what? It's interesting. You are a very like genuinely soft-hearted guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
I don't want any confrontation in my life. If my fiance is mad at me, my day is ruined. I cannot do nothing.
You're very to yourself. Like, over at the gym, I mean, obviously we talk and shoot the breeze, and, and we've had a chance to work with each other some, and that's been great.
Yep.
But that wasn't because you were like Mr. Look at me in the gym. I mean, it was just by chance of getting paired up that day.
Right, exactly.
And so you're saying, it's interesting. So this alter ego that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I never could. I don't know if you remember back in the day, but I never could. Not me. None of us had a way. We all flipped it. You remember that you were the guy that used to flip it. I mean, anybody that's watching, Chad used to be like, Chad was the guy that came in to your team, and he still does this to teams. They have him come in and motivate you, before the game.
Oh, I love that.
So, you used to be ego. To flip that alter
I did,
ego.
yeah. Still can.
Still can. Yeah, you still can.
Not as good at flipping it on now.
But what an ability, boy, if you were a young kid, what an ability, though, to be able to do it on cue.
Yep.
Like that. Like, and I'm not saying you can, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you read that book.
It's not on cue, but like, there's definitely times where I can feel it, where I'm like, okay, Chaz ain't here no more. Like, it's like Dakota's here. Dakota's my real name. I don't go by Dakota.
Right.
I go by Chaz. Chaz is what I've gone by my whole life. That's what my mom wanted me to be named. Dakota was what my dad wanted to be named. My dad was a pretty hard dude.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm out there competing, I got to be Dakota.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's awesome, man.
That's awesome.
See, I can kind of relate to that, man. Like, when I played football, which is nothing like fighting, but you try to get to that space, I guess, at times. And I mean, I was one of those dudes that was a completely different person in between the lines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then outside of it, man, so I can totally relate to what you're saying.
Right.
Like the guy that was in between the lines didn't make great decisions, man.
No, you can't.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
that was my problem whenever I was maybe training at Immortal, is I was becoming Dakota a little too much. I was losing myself a little bit.
Yeah. So whenever you're doing that and you become, you go from Chaz to Dakota, how do you remember everything that Chaz learned?
Because in the back of my head, that don't matter.
That
Dakota's
like
the mindset.
Dakota's just
Dakota's the mind.
Dakota compartmentalize that.
Yeah.
So.
Dakota is go forward, punch. Don't matter.
Dakota is the gas in the tank, man.
Yeah.
Dakota's the gas in the tank.
Yeah.
But Chaz is the one driving.
So you don't separate them that much. You don't go into.
I can't separate it that much. I just gotta get like from smile to snarl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it.
Does music help?
Yeah, it does. Definitely. Just most of the time. Most of the time. But there's some times where I feel like I can get lost in a song and maybe not be as intense, just depending on the music.
I think it's funny, and I'm relating this to like when Rogan interviews the MMA guys. I've heard several of them refer to with like when they get in the ring, it's like, man, it's on, and I can like that guy, I can whatever, but if you're willing to get in the ring with me, you better be willing to die.
Yeah,
because I'm coming in there to kill you,
Right.
Yeah. And I figure that the other guy's coming here to kill me.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, man. I mean, that's pretty raw, but I imagine that's about where it is.
It is.
Man.
I feel like that's exactly what a lot of fighters feel like. Like it's almost less respectful to go in there and not give it your all.
Right.
Like if we're both agreed that we are going to do this.
yeah.
And I that's what I like about it too. Is like I know this guy probably has a hard life too, like outside of everything. But we're gonna figure out what we're gonna figure out right here and then.
Yeah. Well, it's not going to be a good show, man. If we're not, if
right,
both of us aren't bringing it.
I want people. I don't want to go to a fight and people ever boo me because I'm boring. That's almost worse. That's way worse than losing.
Oh, I'd say it is, man.
That's way worse than
if
losing.
people like start booing because of the effort wasn't there or something like
Right.
that, man. And maybe it's your opponent,
Right.
It's such a dance, dude. Especially the boxing game is just such a dance.
Yeah, I've
It
never
is.
boxed. That was my first. I've never been in a boxing ring before that day. I've trained in cages, mats, all different types of. Whenever
How was the ring?
Weird.
Yeah. How
weird.
did you like that, man? Like,
It felt safe, but also felt like not safe for me.
How
'Cause,
big
like,
was it? 24 foot?
I think so.
do you like the idea of knowing that, like, hey, man, we can take this to the ground?
Well, that's why I wanted to do the boxing because I did the MMA and everything, thinking maybe because I had wrestling growing up and everything, I would like it. But the more I trained MMA, the more I kind of like started not liking grappling.
Like
I was
the
like,
stand-up game.
I wanted to like really work on my stand up, and the stand up game makes me feel more like an artist than the grappling. The grappling makes me feel like it's the competition mode again, like wrestling.
Yeah.
And I like the differently, like the way they think for striking it too.
So, will you ever do another Tough Man?
If they let me, I've had 2 amateur fights in MMA, 2 in Tough Man. I think you can only have 5 amateur fights altogether.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was 3.
So there's a limit then.
There is a limit, but I don't know. I can message the people. Everyone there seemed to like me and everything, so maybe they would just let me do it at one more time.
That one. I mean, if whatever their rule is, there's guys that have broken that inside the Tough Man
For sure.
But they've fought more times just at the Tough Man. Than
Just
what
at that, yeah.
Oh,
okay.
maybe it's like you can only do the Tough Man then, and it's not like actual like MM fights.
The MMA ones don't count, man.
I don't know. I don't know. They asked me how many times.
So,
So, like,
just
so are
boxing.
you getting to this? Is it the same in MMA? Like, are you getting to the point where you'll have to basically go pro?
No,
or get
they
your
do that.
card?
That's like all up to the discretion of the league and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like yeah, because you might be able to once you get your like pro card signed, they're like you can't do amateur anything anymore.
Now with amateur MMA, is that where do they have you wearing the shin guards?
Depends
no
on the
punching
state.
in the face.
No, it
stuff
just
like
depends
that?
on the state
Okay,
and like
okay.
the league. The
It's typically kickboxing,
Okay.
where you see shin guards.
yeah, and the first MMA fight I did was for Ohio Combat League, and I think you just couldn't kick in the head,
Okay.
so or like knee in the head, but everything else was okay.
Okay.
Even then, standing up, like you couldn't knee a guy in the head. You couldn't throw a flying knee.
No, you couldn't knee him in the head. You could knee him in the body and like in the legs and stuff, but you could. They just didn't want like anyone getting kicked in the head.
So Ohio Combat League is basically just the Ohio front runner in.
Yeah, like MMA.
Amateur.
Yeah, amateur MMA and pro MMA. They do pro fights too.
So if you're an amateur in that, it's not ran like the Tough Man. Like typically,
No, you're gonna know who you're fighting. Probably like
well, they're going to pair you, right?
6 to 8 weeks in advance. Yeah.
And they're going to, it's like if you go in there and say, okay, no experience whatsoever, then they'll throw you in there with another guy. No,
It's gonna be pretty close, similar experience.
maybe
you know?
one. Yeah.
Maybe they have a loss or something. You know, they ain't gonna get no one hurt. You
Yeah.
know, they're smart. They're not gonna be like, here's 0-0. We're gonna give you the amateur champ who's 5-0 right now.
Yeah,
who's
yeah.
spinning wheel kick through the last 2 guys.
Yeah. So do you see yourself going back? Are they doing the K1s? Is that who's doing the K1?
I just saw that there's a kickboxing league in Akron, Ohio, and they do K1 kickboxing and Muay Thai fights and amateurs and everything like that. And that's where they have like the shin guards and all that and everything like that. And I'm thinking I want to do that.
The Muay Thai, that's becoming hot. So a lot of these guys that are like him, that don't like to go to the ground.
Right.
It's not that he doesn't like to; he just enjoys the dance of the boxing.
Yeah,
I think that's what's going to, that sport will just continue to grow too, because they're integrating them all.
Yeah,
I mean, that Muay Thai. Yeah. I tell you what, I'd rather roll than I would get kicked to death.
Yeah, getting kicked is no fun.
Getting kicked sucks.
It looks to me like when I'm watching one of these fights, not a trained eye, but like when you're getting kicked in the legs.
It hurts so bad.
I can't imagine how you continue to take that punishment and keep going forward. I mean, that has got to wear you completely
It
down.
doesn't matter if it's here or here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, dude.
It's no fun getting kicked in the legs.
It's the worst.
Yeah.
Absolute worst. Why does that hurt so bad? All that muscle, all that meat.
I don't know.
That's probably why.
Dude, and you see those guys in their
And
legs just swell up.
Your shin is so hard.
Yeah.
It's like taking a baseball bat to it.
And if you want to hurt them just as bad, stick your knee up and let them catch or let somebody stick their leg up and you catch their knee.
Oh, getting your kick checked hurts way worse than getting kicked.
Yes. Yeah.
100%.
It's a fifth, like whenever they're kicking, there's just as good at odds that it's going to hurt them worse than it does them.
Yeah, I've been out a couple of days from getting a kick checked. I've never really been out too long.
And getting it checked is like hitting a knee or something.
Elbow.
It's like you go to
An
kick
elbow.
them and they literally will turn their shin and it's just shin to shin. But because they're in the ground and you're like in the air, it hurts.
You take
way
it.
worse.
Yeah, yours is coming forward.
Yeah.
I mean, man, dude,
It's like kicking a tree.
It is.
Like you're not going to hurt the tree.
I would imagine the recovery period after like a Muay Thai or kickboxing would be longer.
Maybe not than MMA, because MMA.
Well,
it's all
MMA is
legal.
everything, dude. Yeah, that's
Honestly, if you train right and you do everything right, whenever you fight, you shouldn't be too banged up unless it's like an absolute war. Especially in amateurs, like they're gonna stop it before anyone gets hurt.
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How'd you feel after 3?
Fine.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah. The day after the tough man, I was fine. And I was like, I might go back to boxing this week.
You took a week off.
I took a week off.
Yeah.
And you know why? Because I was just playing Spider-Man, and I beat that game. So I took it was a week off. It was a good week off.
I was glad you took a week off.
Yeah.
If I didn't have Spider-Man, I would have been back in the gym.
I was glad to see you take a week off. You needed it.
But yeah, I didn't really get too sore until 2 days after, and it was my whole back. My whole back was just sore. I don't know what. Maybe because I'm not used to was not used to throwing like 110% the whole time.
How did your cardio hold up, man?
Fine. I didn't get tired.
Really?
I figured that I was gonna be my cardio was gonna be good. I made sure I didn't sit down between the rounds and everything too.
What'd you do to train other than?
I was running like 5 days a week on the treadmill, like 3.5 miles, and then I would do a lift right after that. So I was doing 2 a days for 4 out of the 6 days I was training most of the time.
And you was good then. I mean, cardio wise, because
Oh yeah, if I wish I had. I'll show you afterwards.
but you fought before.
Yeah, but at the end of the second fight, the dude was hunched over, like breathing hard and everything, and my mouth's not even open.
See, that I think would have to be tough, man, because especially if you have little experience fighting, which you've had experience fighting, so that has to help you.
Yeah.
But like not knowing how to pace your cardio,
First
and all of
fight,
a sudden you go live. You go
First
live.
fight you was ever in, did you lose it? Wind
I won my first one.
I know, but I'm saying, did win?
Cardio.
My cardio ended up being fine because, like I said, I was overtraining and everything. Okay. So like I was a cardio machine. That was probably like my best attribute is I'm not gonna get tired.
You've never run out of gas.
No, I'm not. No, not really. The second fight I got TKO'd, so I didn't have to run out of gas. It was out.
Okay.
Yeah. I always thought maybe the cardio for me anyway. Like, and
that's
I'm just
the scariest part about fighting is thinking I'm gonna get so tired that I can't defend myself because that's how you do get hurt.
Yeah, that's how you get hurt. Yeah. But I always thought it was more like the heart rate of the excitement that
That's
a
what I
lot
mean.
of
Like you kind of got to keep that in check.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get that adrenaline spike.
Yeah.
You know, from coming out there, and it seems like you maybe start throwing a little too much.
The first
get out of
round
pace.
is really like the most like intense thing for me because every fight that I've had, the first round has always kind of not went my way because I'm just not ready for all that adrenaline.
It's
honestly.
an adrenaline dump,
Yeah.
and then you just kind of got to get used to it.
I literally when I go back to the corner, I literally have to take like 2 deep breaths, and then I feel like okay, I'm back to being okay.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're back to
And
0.
does that first round feel like it lasts like 10 seconds?
yeah. It literally was like a blink.
Yeah.
It was so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say you didn't look winded the entire time. I mean,
Yeah, I felt like my cardio held up pretty well.
which that amazes me because I mean it's so much different than any form of training other than live training. Like if you're, I'm not even going to say sparring somebody. If it's a real deal, that has to change your heart rate.
Oh, it does. And you know, the best thing for me is just trying to always be as calm as possible when I'm in there. So whenever I do start throwing, I don't get too excited because that's whenever it gets like really like
Get
you
off
start
balance.
you start throwing and you get hit once and then he hits you and then all of a sudden you're like in a frenzy. I'm like, I've thrown 8 punches in 5 seconds and I've never thrown this many before.
Yeah, you don't throw that many even in training.
No, yeah. You're like, I've literally
And
just
that's when
keep
your
throwing.
cardio gets out of control.
Yeah, because you're not doing what you normally do. You just got to try to remember what you normally do in
Stay
training.
under control.
So if you catch yourself in one of those frenzies, what are you doing? Are you covering up, backing out? Are you staying in it as long as you can? I mean,
Well, so far, I've stayed in it whenever that frenzy happens, and I just try and push through it. Because luckily, I feel like because the rounds were so short during the boxing, I didn't tire myself out, and it didn't affect it, but it probably could have if it would have been longer.
you throw 8 punches, it affects you,
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
especially in
Full go.
Full go 8
Yeah,
punches.
full go 8 punches, 3 of them miss, and you just hit air. It takes out of you quick.
Quick. Oh man. I mean, but you can also, if you catch somebody that doesn't know anything, you catch them in one of them frenzies.
Oh, yeah.
There's your opening.
Sit back. Sit
No,
back
I don't know.
and
I haven't got that lucky yet.
Yeah.
Where I get somewhere around that don't know nothing.
Dude, those guys, they look like Stretch Armstrong
Dude,
fighting you. It's
so
stupid.
silly.
It-
The first dude, it was funny. I was real nervous and everything, but I was trying to put on a cool face and everything. But we sat down and I could see his leg just going. I'm like, okay, he's nervous too. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then someone asked him right whenever I was thinking that, and they're like, "Hey, you okay? You ever done anything like this before?" And he was like, "Well, I'm a state champion wrestler, so I'm used to the big crowds." I'm like, "You son of a bitch! Like, what is happening in your life right now? This tough man is out of control already."
Dude.
yeah, state champion wrestler. You're sitting there like, you dick.
Yeah, like I'm like how am I like? Why can't I get ankle monitor guy? Like,
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to speak for him, but like Ben Kofer could probably still go fight in this tough man.
100%.
He's probably still legal.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, 100% he can. And can you imagine drawing that some bitch?
That's a hard night.
Jesus.
That's such
Well,
a hard
I mean,
night.
you know, that guy is just a freak the way he's built.
So,
I mean,
but if you're over what, you could have a chance in facing him. If you're over 210, what was the cutoff?
I don't know what the heavyweight one was. It's got to be. I think it's the cutoff would had to have been like
At least 210.
210 or something.
230
like that.
maybe.
I don't know.
But anybody above, not within 5'10" pounds, anybody within 50.
I wish he'd do that.
Oh, it'd be fun. That'd be fun to watch.
I feel like he'd win.
I do too.
I feel like he'd win easy.
It's just I don't know. I can't imagine taking that. And you had that chance. Like you could have drawn your class as Ben Kofer.
Oh, I think I didn't get the
think he
Ben
may
Kofer,
have, yeah.
but the guy who won it, oh man, I wanted to fight him. He had some real nice like boxing short, like looked like boxing like briefs on and everything, and he was warming up, and I was like, if I get this dude, me and him can actually have like a cool looking fight. And it not just be like guns a blazing because we would have had
Both
to
of us
figure
have some technique.
Yeah, we would have had to figure some things out, and that was what I was really looking forward to.
So are you judging them up like first two steps, coming out southpaw, coming out orthodox? How's that looking through the eyes of a fighter whenever you step out in that ring and you're
That's
you're
the first
coming to
thing
the
I
middle?
look is
it?
like how are we gonna stand real quick and how fast are we getting going? Because like some fighters they're gonna stand in front of you and it just depends on like
Define stand in front of you.
like just wait, like counter punch type thing, like
Yeah, okay.
I'm not gonna make the first move. You're gonna have to make the first move type thing, and that I don't like that. I like just coming out and just start
Meet in the middle.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get it going, especially in tough man. You got a minute.
Well, you don't have very much time.
Let's go ahead and we'll figure out how far we got to be, and whenever we start punching.
Right.
You know?
Did you have a plan for a southpaw versus an orthodox?
No, southpaw. I was just gonna try and match him for a second because I have.
Did you? You didn't fight southpaw.
No, I don't fight southpaw. I fight orthodox, but I have some sneaky like southpaw tricks into orthodox. So I have a pretty if I'm southpaw and we're
Switch
both
cross or something.
Yeah, like if we're both southpaw, I have a pretty good right hand for like the body, and I hit that a lot southpaw. So sometimes I switch into southpaw just to hit the body.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always fight just how I feel. I switch stances a lot, but just because of the Muay Thai and the kickboxing and everything. I feel like I've flows a little bit better. It doesn't work as good in boxing because there's no kicks to switch whenever you're switching stances. So I really
Good for body position though.
Yeah.
It'll put you a spot where you weren't a second ago.
That's true. Which is true.
Which is always good. I was wondering how quick, especially with a 1 minute fight, because whenever I was watching your fights, even the commentators like, "Hey guys, you got 60 seconds, so you can stand there and try to judge one another all you want to, but at the end of the day, you got a minute."
Right. That's what they were telling us too. Whenever we did the fighter meeting, they're like, "You got a minute." And they score and they score on punches, so you guys better throw.
How did they score? It's just strictly punches.
I think so, but I don't know because I counted the punches on the second fight, and it was dead even. And he might have thrown 2 more punches, but I hit him so hard, much harder, and put the pressure on him. I was like, it just doesn't add up. So I don't know how they were actually counting it.
Maybe it was connects.
Connects could be in connects. I don't know.
Could they even score? Is there a scoring system for a hard punch?
I don't know how boxing works in scoring. Honestly, I'd never really boxed before this. I was just like, this sounds like fun. I might be able to win $1,000 if I win it all. Yeah. Sign me up.
There's people say that boxing's dead, and it'll never be dead. You're always going to have this level,
right? There's whenever it gets to the highest level, boxing is crazy. Those guys are so fast. They hit so hard. They set up things that you don't even think of.
Well, I mean, I think what they cite is are there as many people coming into boxing now, or are more people starting to train MMA? And
look at Ngannou, Francis Ngannou, who goes out and fights Tyson Fury, not one boxing fight in his life,
right? And
goes out there and goes the distance with the heavyweight champ of the world,
right?
There's dudes.
Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather,
yeah. So that's what I mean. I don't know that I would agree that boxing would be dead, but there's got to be less people
you're going to find guys that don't want to go to the ground, right?
Yeah, that's correct. That's right.
Yeah.
And honestly, people think boxing, they think money. So if you're getting into fighting for money, that's the best route.
Yep, that's where it is. I mean,
and with the referee, I would say it's probably, if you looked at MMA, boxing, you're getting teed off on the head. And I tell you what, man,
people don't understand how dangerous boxing is actually compared to MMA though. I try to say that to everyone, yeah, it's okay that they're using big gloves, but it's like getting tackled 40 times in one round. You know what I mean? A football hit.
Man, let's talk
and then
about
think about that. You get concussed, you stand back up, and then you take another 30 tackles.
Dude, especially nowadays. People are punching harder.
They're punching so hard.
I mean, well, I'm not saying those old school guys were those guys were just animals. But, man, you're not going to tell me that this stuff, you're seeing it. All these old fighters are walking around mumbling.
Oh, yeah, that's bad, dude.
Isn't it? I mean, isn't it waking you up a little bit to the blows to the head?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Just finished up with one of our favorite stops after football.
McDonald's.
That's right. Thank you, Brad and Sarah Munn, and all of our local McDonald's restaurants for being great sponsors here at the Chubbies. Chubbies, I still want to know how many points you got. I've got more of them tonight. Go to McDonald's. Help out Brad and Sarah Munn. They sure help out our communities. Thanks, Brad and Sarah.
I mean, what'd you think of Mahomes getting his helmet cracked the other night?
That was odd.
That was just from the cold.
It was the weather. Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
But that just shows you, I mean, how many times you see the helmet cracked like that?
I haven't very many times.
I've never seen that.
No. I mean, they claimed it was the cold. The thing I couldn't figure out is once it was cracked, why didn't they get it off his head?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody knew.
I think he said that the backup helmet they had was sitting in the cold, so it shrunk, and he was like, I can't wear this one. So that's maybe why they had it on for a second.
Yeah.
Had to heat up his helmet.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy how much equipment you'd have to have to do all that?
Yeah.
Man, I was listening, speaking of boxing. So I was watching this Instagram reel yesterday or today, I can't remember. And Jack Johnson. Are you familiar with Jack Johnson?
Yeah, I know Jack Johnson.
Okay. Heavyweight champ, whatever. Back in like 1905, 1910, somewhere around there. I'm still learning. 45 round fights.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Gee whiz,
Back in the early 1900s, they were doing like
bare knuckle. Probably
they do 100-round fights. Seriously, I mean, what could
Couldn't
you
imagine?
Can you even think of that? I mean,
would any of those go the distance, man? I'd think a guy would just fall over.
They said Jack Johnson fell. I forget the guy's name. He was Russian or Yugoslavian.
Think about how long Nate Diaz
26
could fight if you just let him. If you just put Nate Diaz against another dude who's got endless cardio, and they were just like figure it out, and there was no submissions, no time limit, and they were just like just box it out.
Yeah, ooh.
And
he's an ultra marathon runner.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he runs ultra marathon.
Yeah.
How long does an ultra marathon take?
100 miles, isn't it?
Yeah, 100
So,
miles.
Whatever 100 miles could be in a boxing fight. That's probably
Well, that man just Holzapfel's buddy just did that 400 and something.
That's unbelievable. Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
400
mile run.
There's no way.
I mean, can you?
It's amazing how far those guys, people now, how far they're pushing themselves. I mean, how elite the training is becoming. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Some of it's unbelievable. Actually, I've 400 miles. I did 20 miles in a day at just one time. Just tried to see if I could do 20 miles, and I did. And then afterwards, I had to call my mom to be like, "Yo, can you please come get me because my legs are not working.
Yeah,
I'm not walking back to the car this next half mile. I did the 20. I need you to come get me."
Yeah.
I remember I was thinking the other day. I remember me and Jenkins was running together pretty tight back when he ran his first marathon. He was married or getting married. I can't remember, but. I remember his first marathon. He rode home. Had to have Beth drive him home. He sat over. His feet were just destroyed.
Oh yeah.
And so then now we've watched him progress up to these 100-mile races.
Didn't he tell us on here that he ran that 100-miler and like his toenails fell off? Or something?
And then you think, I mean, see, now you think of these guys that did this 400, and then you go back and you think of these 45, 50, 100-round fights.
Yeah.
How tough are people? I mean, that's just unbelievable.
That's resilience, man. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know how long the rounds would have been. I can't imagine.
I'm assuming they were probably 2-3 minutes, just regular
What did they
boxing.
use to take? Was there watches back then? In 1900, did they have a clock?
One dude just counting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, did they even have that back then? Did they even know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you. I will say, Chaz, your cardio was in check, man. You didn't look winded at all.
I know
that would have been my biggest fear.
That's the real scary thought is just getting too tired because
you're done.
Yeah, it's not fun. And I try and do that when I train sometimes, and that's what I was doing at AP Prep with some of the guys. Is I was like, we'll do some Shark Tank rounds, and I'll just stay in. We'll go. Everyone will get like 2 minutes with me. Please just try to make me tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like right now is the time I need to be tired, not in a fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather have the guys I'm sparring that know if I'm getting too tired and I can't defend myself, we're going to stop than that happen in a fight any day of the week. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because at least you trust them. You don't know what the other dude's intentions really are. Well, I know my intentions, so they can't be good.
No. They sense weakness. Here they come.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
Just gonna train every day again. I just got back into it. I went to boxing before this.
Did you go tonight?
Yeah, just for I went early so I could just do an hour on the bag really, and then just gonna keep training and gonna look on that website for the kickboxing. I'm gonna wait until they post a couple more of their events. The one they're posting right now is in the January 20th, so it's like a couple weeks.
Next week,
yeah. So I'm gonna wait and
maybe March.
Yeah, no, I'm probably gonna give it like 3-4 months before I really start thinking about a fight again. I want to work on a lot want to travel a little bit, go spar some people from just like around this part of Ohio. I messaged that Jim in Jackson that you were talking about.
One Academy?
Yeah,
he's been on the show.
yeah. I messaged.
Shout out One Academy.
Yeah, I messaged him about their Muay Thai stuff. So I might.
Jason teaches that. He's legit.
Yeah, I might go up there a couple of times. I got some friends that in Chillicothe that do a lot of striking and everything. See if they want to start coming to AP prep.
Jason had some either UFC or Pride, or he fought like legit, like on TV.
That's pretty dope.
Yep, and he teaches their Muay Thai class, and he's good. I forget his last name, but he moved here like a year ago.
Yeah.
Real nice guy. And they're moving locations. They're going up to the Evans Center.
I saw that.
He took Kelly D's old spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that'd be nice. That's an expansion there, dude.
And we know a lot about that Evans Center.
Oh,
we
heck
spent
yeah.
several years there.
Cut our teeth.
Cut our teeth. Didn't we, Chad? So you're gonna look for that. How long you think you're gonna take? Maybe 6 months, 4 months.
Maybe.
How old are you, Chaz? 28. You said.
About to be 28. I turned 28 in February. Yeah, I'm just waiting to see what kind of opportunity presents itself. Like what I've always done is just started to get myself prepared, and then like have it in my mind when I feel like I'm in good enough shape to actually do it. But like right now, I'm still in really good shape right now. I probably gained 7-8 pounds since the fight, just chilling, eating, drinking pop, stuff like that.
Just
Not
living.
doing anything.
Yeah.
But that don't take no time to lose weight. But I think I'll probably want to fight if I do a kickboxing fight at like 145, 150, somewhere around there.
Really, you gonna go down that much?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't hard to lose the weight to get down to 160. I really didn't miss a meal. I was eating pop. I was drinking pop, eating candy most of the time whenever I was losing that weight. I got a weird way of losing weight. Is I just work out super hard, and then I decide how much I can eat after I work out. You know what I mean? I'm like how I don't even. Most of the time I won't even look at my weight or anything, unless I'm getting towards a fight. But I'll just work out real hard and be like, okay, I deserve at least a whole pizza. I'm still chubby at heart.
Yeah.
And that's probably my biggest vice is I'm a snacker, dude. I cannot stop with candy. Candy. If candy was veggies, I'd have a 24 pack for sure.
Well, you definitely dropped some weight since I met you.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was only 7 months ago.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. But all jokes aside, I do I fast a lot too. I won't eat until 4 or 5 o'clock whenever I'm trying to lose weight, and that he seems to work pretty well for me.
So you were losing weight with this intermittent fasting. You go 24 hours. You doing the OMAD, or what do you do?
I just
18-6.
Dude, I don't know. I'm honestly the most bro science person ever. I do things a lot of old school ways. Like if I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna run until I'm tired, and then that's when I'll be done. I'm gonna eat until I feel like it's healthy, and that's how I judge it. I don't really count calories. I know this is terrible health advice, but this is just how I live my life. I just really think about how much the food weighs, and then that's how I lose weight. I'm like, this is probably about 1.5 pounds of food, maybe. All right, I'll eat that, and then I'll work out two times a day. 2 times a day, and my head's like 3 pounds of weight, and then I just math it like that.
Yeah. More out than in. Right?
More out than in. That's all I think about, and it's not the best.
Is this
way.
what Common Core has done?
Yeah, there you go, man.
That's kind of what he's doing, right?
I mean, more out than in. I mean, I've heard that all the time.
I just
my grandfather
it's
used
too
to have
stressful for me to put in all the logistics of my food and think about what I'm gonna eat that much whenever I could just be like, I'm just gonna work extra hard today. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go into the gym. I'm gonna put sweatpants on. I'm gonna put my sweatshirt on. I'm gonna tuck that in. It's gonna be nice and hot. I'm gonna lose some weight.
Yeah. And then I'm going to be done. I'm going to need some.
That's the wrestling mindset.
That's
my wrestling
calories.
That's my wrestling mindset to a T, though, because whenever you're a high school wrestler and you're always a little bit overweight, you're always in sweatpants and sweatshirts. You're just always trying to define whatever that little calorie I can lose off of nothing.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was like, did my mindset for this is I told my buddy, I'm like, because we grew up wrestling together. I'm like, I'm going Jerry Driggs style. Shout out Jerry Driggs, RIP. Was my wrestling coach in high school. He would always say that it doesn't matter what you do outside of like in the gym, as long as you're doing what you got to do in the gym, and it should be fun. I'm like, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense to me. Like, as long as I can show up in the gym and work extra hard, harder than the person next to me, I feel like I'm doing okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you go hard, man.
I try. That's literally my goal when I go somewhere and I train. I'm like, I'm gonna try and be the one that looks and feels like I'm doing the most. It works.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I am or not, but I'm gonna try and feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've always went hard. I know Keith Mannering. Shout out Keith. He's a big old boy. Been going over there, you know.
Yeah, I know Keith.
And he talked to. He goes, I'll never forget. I mean, Keith. You know, us Southern Ohio guys, you know, we got a certain way of just speaking, you know. And Keith, he goes, my God, I got parred up with that little skeeter the other day. He said, he's buzzing all around there. He said, Jesus, God, Pudge. He said, my God, he's fast. And I said, Chaz? And he said, yeah.
That's funny.
Wore him out.
Yeah, because Chaz is one of those guys, he goes, you know, and that's what you want. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
And I'll try to make it because there's people in there that in AP prep that definitely don't want to go like I'm going, which I understand.
yeah.
But sometimes I do get going, and I feel bad whenever someone doesn't want to go that hard, and
Yeah.
I'm already going that hard.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Prater's,
Sorry, dude.
sorry, Dar-
Yeah.
sorry.
Prater's the worst.
Yeah.
If you get Prater, he's the worst.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, he's like you. He goes like a damn buzzsaw. Yeah. So that's what's next is. So are you gonna try to do that through a high combat league?
It's either that or I think it's extreme kickboxing is what the one when Akron was in too, and when that looks like a pretty fun league as well. So I don't know. I always like doing things that I haven't done before. That's a big thing that I like doing in my life.
But what if you want to look at this on the UFC path and say, okay, that's my goal. I mean, are you too late to the party?
No,
I don't think so.
Keep fighting. Just rack up as many fights as I can and get in as much experience as I can.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no set goal plan or anything to get into being a pro. You got to fight and you got to train. You just got to make it your lifestyle. And that's pretty much what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. How do they recruit for that to be in because the UFC is like its own league.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do they recruit out of the Bellator just got bought out by PFL or one of them?
Whenever you get in, it's like the amateur scene and like the circuit that's like going around the United States, like the smaller shows. You just have to like stack up wins and stack up big performances, be noticeable, do things like this, get like noticed by people. Be good at fighting. Yeah, that's a big one.
Be a good fighter.
Yeah. And then like I don't know, because like there's people that have managers and people that don't. You just kind of have to literally just have to be good at fighting to get into the UFC. Yeah. There's other promotions and stuff that like you might get in because of your name or like stuff like that, but like UFC, you just got to be good at fighting.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't care.
Yeah.
But to live as a fighter, you just gotta like promote yourself and everything. Like I said, it's kind of like being an artist. You gotta buy what I'm selling. I'm selling. I'm gonna fight hard. I'm gonna give it all I got. And if you like to watch me, that's great. If not, it is what it is. It's not gonna change the way I live.
I love it, man. I think that's awesome. I'm kind of looking forward to following you, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah. They can follow you at what? Chaz Staten?
Where can they watch you, man?
Just Chaz Staten on Instagram. I've been posting a little bit more lately. Kind of fell out of it for a second, but it's a lot more fun now. I'll post stuff on there. I don't really do much social media besides like Facebook and stuff. Okay. I'll be training. You see me on AP prep all the time. I'll be there. I might be jumping from gym to gym just to try to get a little bit more work in before the next fight.
Well, we can't wait to hear what's next, man.
Yeah. You gonna come back on show?
Whenever you guys want. This was a lot of fun. I had so much fun.
Thanks, man.
Deal, man.
Great meeting.
All right, Chaz Staten, folks. All right. Hey, we'll see you next trip.
Absolutely.